On the eve of my wedding, I caught my fiancé and best friend in bed together. I went to drown my sorrows at a bar only to get drugged. When I woke up the next morning with a splitting headache, reporters stormed in before I could process anything, their camera flashes blinding me. The chaotic scene of scattered clothes and telltale marks across my skin became front-page news overnight. Rising star Jess Johnson caught cheating night before wedding trended across all platforms. Overnight I became a disgraced celebrity blacklisted from the industry and facing astronomical breach penalties. At my lowest moment, Alex Stone, my ex-fiancé's uncle, appeared like divine intervention. He gently wiped my tears, confessing he'd always loved me. Alex promised to cover all penalties if I'd marry him and become Mrs. Stone. Seeing undisguised adoration in his eyes, I believed I'd found salvation. Our extravagant wedding made headlines. For 3 years, Alex treated me like porcelain treasure. I thought myself the luckiest woman alive until our 5th anniversary. When I overheard his friend ask, "Does Jess still not know you were actually the one in her bed that night? That you planted those reporters?" Ruthless move preserving M. Brown's reputation by destroying her rival. Must have cost billions propping M up to Triple Crown status and engineering her marriage to your nephew. All for free? After a pause, Alex sighed. M's my eternal love. If I can't have her heart, I'll be the knight guarding her happiness. Her joy justifies any cost. The revelation shattered me. My supposed savior was the architect of my ruin. That hotel room's nightmare, the drugs, the staged paparazzi ambush, all his doing. My innocence, career, mental health meant nothing against M's whims. For 5 years he'd watched me unravel while playing devoted husband. Each nightmare-driven scream he soothed. Every antidepressant he pretended to worry about, all part of the act. Doesn't Jess deserve better? His friend pressed. She'd be Triple Crown winner instead of M if you hadn't sabotaged her. Now you've caged her in this gilded prison. Alex answered indifferently, so what? I've given her my lifetime. She'll want for nothing except love. Most women would kill for this. I fled before hearing more. The memories flooded back, waking up violated. Society branding me harlot while my rapist walked free. The cameras that stole my dignity. The depression that nearly killed me. Alex had weaponized my trauma to chain me to this lie. 5 years of marriage built on watching me bleed out from wounds he inflicted. The man I worshipped had been holding the knife all along. As dawn broke through the manor windows, I finally understood my knight's armor was rusted through with deceit. If this gilded cage is his lifetime sentence, then Alex Stone can rot in it alone. Ha! That's just too hilarious. So I actually laughed out loud. What's got you so happy? Alex's voice came from behind me. At the same moment, he wrapped his arms around my waist from behind, bending down to nuzzle his face against my ear with infinite tenderness, the very picture of adoration. When I turned around, my bloodshot eyes met his. He froze momentarily before spinning me around like I'd startled him, gently wiping my tears with his thumb. Oh no. Sweetheart. Why are you crying? What's wrong? His voice dripped with concern. You're breaking my heart here. I stared at him intently. Not a single crack in that flawless mask of worry. For 3 years, this Academy Award-worthy performance had fooled me every damn time. After a long pause, I murmured, "Nothing. Just heard my dear friend M won another Oscar for Best Actress. Youngest ever to sweep all the major awards." My laugh sounded brittle even to myself. We debuted together. You know? My career trajectory was actually hotter than hers back then. If not for what happened, I might have climbed even higher than her. Don't you think, babe? Alex stiffened at M's name. His smile turned strained. The man who'd always rushed to comfort me now couldn't bring himself to utter one critical word about her. Instead, he tucked a stray lock behind my ear. Don't overthink it, okay? I pressed on. Hubby, who do you think really drugged me that night? You've got all these connections, how come nothing ever turned up in 5 years? My voice sharpened. And that rookie year scandal, why would paparazzi camp out for weeks specifically targeting me? That month-long media frenzy felt orchestrated. What do you think? My eyes bored into his, desperately seeking even a flicker of remorse. Just one shred of guilt to prove these 5 years meant something. Nothing. His expression remained smooth as marble. Baby, you've worked so hard to move past this. Don't torture yourself. He cradled my face, thumbs brushing my cheekbones. No matter what, I'll always love you. Acting's brutal, I could never watch you suffer through that grind. The tender lie finally shattered my last illusion. This man felt nothing. My pain meant less than yesterday's coffee grounds. 3 years of this charade, time to wake up. That indie director I'd helped years ago had reached out again last week. Rob, decent guy who never bought the media smear campaign. His new passion project required 3 years of intensive training and filming abroad. I'd declined initially, clinging to this hollow marriage. My phone buzzed with Rob's reply to this morning's text, "Welcome aboard. Wheels up 48 hours. Perfect timing." The sudden commotion at the entrance made us both turn. A woman strode in, sunglasses and mask doing nothing to dim her aura. Before I could react, Alex had already shaken off my hand, practically sprinting to her side. Even before she removed her accessories, I knew. My former best friend. Now Hollywood's golden girl, glowed with success while I looked like I'd aged 2 decades overnight. My chest constricted. We'd been equals once. A list directors fighting to cast me. That career-defining role held open until after our wedding, until the infidelity scandal torpedoed everything days before filming began. Emily Brown soared to stardom overnight. Alexander Stone gazed at her fondly. What brings you back? Emily removed her sunglasses and face mask, shooting him a mock, stern glance. Alex, you're impossible. How could I miss your 5th wedding anniversary with Jess? Even if I never got to marry you myself, I still want to witness your happiness. Her words carried playful ambiguity. Alex responded with a bitter smile. The truth was, Emily had chosen to explore other options rather than commit to him. His fingers unconsciously traced the grain of rice tattoo on his inner wrist. For 5 years, I'd watched him caress that tattoo during absent moments. When I'd asked about its meaning years ago, he'd paused before answering with a grin. Gotta earn enough dough to keep my baby happy. I'd blushed, believing myself to be that baby. Now I understood the cruel truth that grain symbolized his willingness to be merely one of many in Emily's bowl. How poetic. Emily continued her dramatic performance. I'm sorry, Alex. I shouldn't tease like that. You're my favorite person. And Jess is my best friend. Where is she? I brought gifts. Those standing right before her. She pretended to search the room before noticing me. Jess? My God. You've changed so much. I thought you were the cleaning staff. Her saccharine tone couldn't mask the triumphant gleam in her eyes. I observed her theatrics coolly. 5 years hadn't improved her acting. Those Golden Globes must have cost Alex billions. I can't compete with your red carpet glory. I remarked. Her smile froze. Last month's incident where security had escorted her off the carpet still trended briefly despite her PR team's efforts. She recovered with venomous sweetness. How touching that you still follow my career. Did you know director Robert Taylor's giving me that film he wrote for you? Your darling Alex secured it by drinking himself into the ER. He's determined to give me everything meant for you. Her voice dropped. Remember your miscarriage? I told Alex I couldn't bear seeing another woman carry his child. The car accident wasn't random. Those contraceptives he's been slipping you? They've made you permanently sterile. The world tilted. Before realizing it, my palm cracked across her face. Alex shoved me violently to the floor. Have you lost your mind, Jess? He roared. Emily clutched her cheek dramatically. Alex. Don't be angry. Jess just couldn't handle hearing about my new film role. Her feigned mercy only inflamed his protective rage as the entire gala crowd turned to watch. Humph. She ruined her own life by choosing to degrade herself. Who can she blame? Alex's words stabbed like a dagger through my heart. Yet I felt nothing. Years ago, my scandal had trended on social media for a full month under calculated manipulation. Everyone here knew fragments of that story. The moment Alex finished speaking, whispers began. I didn't need to guess their content. In the past, this would have shattered me. I'd have buried myself in Alex's arms. But tonight's events made one truth crystal clear: the only person who could save me was myself. I wiped my tears and stood tall, locking eyes with him. Alex, I declared, voice steady, I want a divorce. Gasps rippled through the crowd. How dare a social pariah like me discard the illustrious Alex? Even Alex seemed stunned, while M's face lit with barely concealed triumph. I smirked inwardly. If she wanted this morally bankrupt man, she could have him. I refused to waste another second entangled with these toxic people. It took Alex a full minute to process my words. His brow furrowed slightly, an unfamiliar tension tightening his jaw. Jess. He snapped, anger lacing his voice with an odd tremor. Stop this nonsense. You attacked M first. What right do you have to play the victim? I laughed until tears spilled. Victim? After everything you've both done? A single slap is nothing compared to M's schemes. Alex's face paled. For a heartbeat, I saw panic flash in his eyes, the terror of being exposed. But he quickly masked it. He'd always been thorough in covering his tracks. When I started laughing through my tears, his hand twitched toward me. Old habits die hard. How many nights had he held me after nightmares? But M's dramatic gasp shattered the moment. Alex whirled to see the faint redness on her cheek, instantly sweeping her into his arms. Get her medical attention. He barked at no one in particular, striding out without a backward glance. Let him play hero. Soon he'd learn some wounds never heal. Left alone at the party, I became tonight's entertainment. Let them stare. Returning to the stone mansion I'd called home for 5 years, I methodically packed while instructing housekeepers to incinerate every trace of Jess. If I left, it would be without fingerprints. After packing everything, I sat quietly by the bed and waited. Time ticked by, and before I knew it, daylight flooded the room. Alex Stone didn't come back. I checked my phone only to find M. Brown had posted a new story. She shared a video of herself cuddling a cat in bed. The caption read, "Waking up in your arms is the happiest thing in the world." If you looked closely, another hand was visible stroking the cat, large and slender, with a tattoo peeking out from the inner wrist. I stood up, placing the divorce papers on the table. Then I posted from my 5-year dormant account before tossing my phone aside and walking out without looking back from this house that never felt like home. Online, a blog post quietly surpassed 10 million views. The account owner had uploaded 2 videos. The first showed a panicked couple scrambling apart when caught in bed, the footage freezing on the man shouting Jess Johnson. In rage, the grainy footage appeared dated but still recognizable as Dan Green, heir to the Green conglomerate, and his fiancé M. Brown, the newly crowned acting Grand Slam winner. The second video, captured from a surveillance angle, showed 2 men conversing. Their earth-shattering dialogue unfolded. Does Jess still not know it was you that night 3 years ago? That you tipped off the paparazzi? Brutal move, silencing Jess. Protecting M's reputation, eliminating her love rival, and torpedoing Jess' career all in one stroke. You've blown billions on her over the years. That obsessed? The posts came from none other than Jess Johnson, whose career had been destroyed in an infidelity scandal 5 years prior. The captions simply read truth. Though inactive for half a decade, Jess' account still boasted a massive following. The timing was impeccable, dropped during morning commute hours when bored subway riders scrolled endlessly. The videos trended instantly, amassing millions of reposts. By the time M's PR team noticed, the wildfire had spread beyond containment. Netizens piled into comment threads, building thousands of nested discussions. Frowny face. Wait. So Jess didn't cheat? She was framed? Clearly M and Jess' ex-fiancé got caught, then set Jess up to cover their tracks. But that's Jess' husband Alex in the second vid. He swooped in to save her during the scandal. Hold up, weren't M and Jess besties? Jess defended M in interviews back when everyone hated her. Let me get this straight, betrayed by fiancé and BFF pre-wedding, then set up by her husband? Homewrecker gets fame while Jess gets trashed? Jess is truly tragic. Sobbing knew she wasn't like that. Jess, how did you survive these years? Who actually stan M? Can't act worth shit but keeps landing roles. Ruins every project yet wins awards? Y'all forgetting M's old scandals? Trash actress. Worse person. Didn't director Rob vow to never work with her? Right? Overnight the narrative flipped. Thought internet had amnesia. Meanwhile Jess had stellar rep, talented, humble, praised by directors. What a waste. M's literal human garbage. Jess deserved better. Alex Stone tossed restlessly all night, visions of Jess' devastated expression haunting him. He'd meant to go home and comfort her. He knew how passionately she'd loved acting, how she'd endured countless injuries without complaint during filming. Director Rob Taylor's project had meant everything to her. It's understandable Jess would be angry now that her best friend had taken everything. But M kept clutching his hand, whimpering in pain. Seeing her delicate, tearful demeanor made Alex's resolve crumble. Whatever, he'd deal with it tomorrow. Jess was always easy to placate. Even if he didn't apologize, she'd eventually talk herself into forgiveness. He woke groggily, his phone buzzing before his eyes fully opened. Sophie, M's agent, the elite publicist he'd bankrupted himself to poach, flashed on the screen. He answered without hesitation. Mr. Stone. The agent's voice held unprecedented panic. Check the trending list immediately. His initial indifference vanished the moment he saw the hashtag. The original post's video began autoplaying, his own voice, casual and damning, discussing matters that now flooded him with primal dread. Strangely, his first thought wasn't of M's impending career implosion, but of Jess. He dialed frantically. Realization dawning, she knew. She'd discovered the truth, that he'd orchestrated her downfall. No wonder she'd filed for divorce yesterday. His pupils dilated as fragmented memories resurfaced, her probing questions. The openings for confession he'd arrogantly ignored. The call went straight to voicemail. Unthinkable. In 5 years, Jess had never once been unreachable. He texted the house manager, "Is Mrs. Stone still asleep?" But patience abandoned him. Snatching his jacket, he bolted toward the penthouse elevator. M intercepted him at the door, mascara rivers staining her cheeks. Alex! The whole internet's crucifying me. What if I get blacklisted? You swore that phone was destroyed years ago. He barely registered her hysteria, fixated on Jess's unresponsive line. Relax. M. Sophie will handle it. The publicist had orchestrated M's pristine image for years. This scandal would be no different. That venomous witch. M spat. After all this time, Jess still schemes against me. I'll have her arrested for. His phone vibrated. The housekeeper's reply glowed coldly. Sir. Mrs. Stone is missing. Alex's breath hitched. M's shrill tirade, Jess deserves prison, suddenly grated like nails on slate. Enough. He snapped. Weren't you the one who crawled into Dan's bed that night? Her tears froze mid-fall. Before she could counter, Alex was already jamming the elevator button. In his rearview mirror, M's betrayed glare burned through the lobby glass. The Aston Martin speedometer hovered at 85 miles per hour as he raced toward empty marital chambers. As soon as he stepped out of the car, the butler rushed forward. "Sir, Jess left early this morning dragging her suitcase." "The table, oh dear. You must see for yourself." The urgency in the butler's voice made Alex's heart plummet. He sprinted upstairs, his polished shoes echoing through the mansion. The master bedroom felt foreign. His eyes swept across the space until he froze. The wedding portrait above their bed was gone. Every trace of Jess had vanished. His grip on the doorknob trembled as his gaze landed on the signed divorce papers gleaming on the dresser. "Check every airport, train stations, bus terminals," Alex roared, sending a crystal vase crashing to the floor with one violent swipe. "I need to know where she went this instant." The butler scrambled to obey as his employer collapsed against the doorframe. Knees buckling. Panic clawed at Alex's throat. She couldn't possibly mean this. Jess loved him, she'd understand eventually. So what if he destroyed her architecture career? He'd give her his entire fortune. Devote every waking moment to her. She'd forgive him once she calmed down. Reality struck when the butler returned empty-handed hours later. No flight manifests. No train tickets. No trace. Alex was still clutching their wedding bands when Dan arrived unannounced. His childhood friend's eyes blazing with cold fury. The security footage from that fateful gala played on Dan's phone. M's venomous whisper to Jess carried crystal clear. "Alex ordered the hit and run that killed your baby. Those vitamins? Birth control pills. All these years. Across town." Sophie stared at her buzzing phone in disbelief. Her boss's new orders made no sense. Instead of suppressing the trending scandals about M, they were to dig up older dirt and accelerate the backlash. M watched her carefully crafted public image implode in real time. #Brown family scandals exploded across social media, resurrecting every misdeed she'd paid millions to bury. She barely registered the splintering crash of her front door until Alex's shadow fell across her trembling form. "Alex. Please," she begged, freezing when Dan materialized behind him like a vengeful ghost. Her manicured nails dug into her palms as Dan's voice sliced through 20 years of lies. "You seduced me that night. Called Jess to catch us on purpose. Admit it." The truth hung between them, sharp as shattered glass. M's silence answered louder than any confession. Dan's bitter laugh echoed through the ruins of their twisted triangle as Alex finally saw the monster he'd protected all these years, and the love he destroyed to do it. "I've been running away for so many years. It's time to clear Jess's name." M paled when she realized his implication. "No," she blurted out, then immediately softened her tone, clutching Dan's sleeve with tearful desperation. "Alex, you can't do this. It'll ruin me. Dan, stop him. Please." She reached for Alex's hand, but he coldly withdrew. With a gesture, 2 bodyguards dragged in a battered man bound with ropes. M's face drained of color. "Do you recognize this man, M?" Alex asked icily. "Never seen him," she choked out. The prisoner wailed. "Cousin, you told me to crash into Jess's car. You promised protection. Lies." M shrieked, scrambling toward Alex. "I swear, Alex." He shoved her to the floor, producing a pill bottle. "Familiar? The vitamins you gave Jess." Her throat tightened as he unscrewed the cap. "Since they're harmless, swallow them all." Bodyguards pinned her as she thrashed. "They're birth control pills. You never wanted Jess's baby. I helped you." Alex's laughter turned manic. "Who said I didn't love her? I trapped Jess to keep her mine forever." Both M and Dan gaped in shock. "You were tolerable when useful," he sneered. "Now you'll experience everything Jess endured, multiplied." The entertainment world soon erupted with revelations. Jess's 5-year-old cheating scandal unraveled spectacularly. Her ex-fiancé confessed to infidelity while her husband Alex released surveillance footage proving M had orchestrated their drugged encounter with reporters. M, who'd skyrocketed to fame after Jess's downfall, was exposed as the actual homewrecker. New scandals emerged: diva behavior, bullying co-stars, verbally abusing veterans. Whispers circulated about a rising starlet's mysterious death years prior, a girl bearing unsettling resemblance to M. Overnight, M became Hollywood's most reviled pariah. Luxury brands demanded millions in breach penalties as the industry blacklisted her completely. With nowhere else to turn, I drifted between middle-aged businessmen twice my age, trading on fading looks. Meanwhile, Alex Stone of Stone Enterprises obtained evidence of my past scheme to frame M. Brown in that car accident, vowing to destroy me. Instead of prison, he blacklisted me nationwide and seized all my assets. Left destitute, I resorted to older benefactors. All the while, the Stone heir combed the globe searching for his vanished wife. Alex never found me. I'd slipped away on a studio shuttle to Tingyang for 18 months of intensive training: history, cultural studies, etiquette, martial arts, preparing for my role as legendary 16th century General Qin Liangyu, the warrior queen who defended China against Japanese invaders with twin swords. Her story of breaking through patriarchal barriers ignited something primal in me. Studying her battlefield strategies and unyielding patriotism, my past obsessions with romance seemed embarrassingly trivial. 3 years later, the film's release stunned critics. My radical transformation from scandal-plagued starlet to battle-hardened commander left audiences double-checking credits in disbelief. The resurgence of old gossip only fueled public fascination. M's name resurfaced for fresh ridicule. But I'd outgrown such pettiness. When Alex appeared at the premiere after-party clutching orchids, I wasn't surprised. New York's elite circles always intersect eventually. "Congratulations on the film's success, Jess," he said, offering the bouquet. I accepted gracefully. "Shall we finally visit City Hall? That divorce has been pending 3 years." His knuckles whitened around the champagne flute. "I won't sign." "Since when do you care?" My laugh held ice. "Need I recount how you ruined me for M? Or remind you about the child I lost?" His confession spilled out in jagged fragments. "I loved you since college, but you were engaged to Dan. When I found them together, I saw my chance. Cutting you off from everything was supposed to make you depend on me." The threats against M were just. The slap echoed through the penthouse. My stinging palm hovered between us like a weapon. Across the room, Dan watched silently, his presence answering questions I'd stopped asking years ago. Alexander Stone's left cheek was swollen from my slap. He pressed his tongue against the injured flesh, turning to face me with a twisted smile. "I know you're angry. Want to hit the other side too?" Slap. Another strike landed. His face became a grotesque mask. Yet his gaze remained disturbingly tender. "Jess," he rasped. "Everything I did was out of love." A bitter laugh escaped me. "Don't you dare cheapen the word love, Alex. You wouldn't recognize real love if it gutted you." My voice cracked despite years of practiced control. "If you'd ever cared one iota about me, how could you have watched me drown in agony? You let Emily's lies destroy our child. You fed me those pills. You stole motherhood from me, and call this love? 32 years old. 8 years in this living hell." Now my tormentor claimed his cruelty stemmed from devotion. The cosmic joke would have been hilarious if my tears weren't splattering the marble floor. "Jess, please." Alex lunged to embrace me. His cologne, that same woodsy scent from our wedding day, triggered visceral revulsion. I shoved him away, retching violently. "You," horror drained color from his face. "You're disgusted by me? Every cell in my body rejects you." The CEO of Stone Enterprises, reduced to a trembling boy, reached for me with shaking hands. I sidestepped his touch, ice coating my words. "Our marriage died 3 years ago. Finalize the divorce at City Hall this Friday." He began haunting me like some deranged specter. His black Mercedes materialized nightly outside my brownstone. At charity galas, His scorching stare followed me through crowds until 80 million. The auctioneer's hammer fell. Gasps rippled through the ballroom as Alex purchased my $95,000 necklace for 80 times its value. Paparazzi swarmed. But I kept walking. Let the tabloids feast on their tragic romance narrative. The Jess who'd once ached for his attention now felt only weary contempt. Emily's reappearance came at a yacht party, clinging to a sweaty hedge fund manager. Her knockoff gown and hollow smile faltered when our eyes met. The crowd leaned in, anticipating hair-pulling drama. I simply raised my champagne flute. Let them whisper. The real revenge wasn't in confrontation, it was in thriving while our ghosts withered. But I simply averted my gaze silently. Letting her watch me shine brightly from hell was already her greatest punishment. Why kick her while she's down? What I hadn't anticipated was M's refusal to accept this. After the gala, M cornered me, her eyes blazing with hatred. You must be thrilled. She spat. Seeing me like this? I saw no reason to tolerate her venom, though I wouldn't stoop to her level. Nodding calmly, I admitted, it does feel satisfying. The champagne had dulled my reflexes, making me miss the madness flickering in her eyes. She struck without warning, whipping out a bottle from behind her back. Die. You bitch. Adrenaline burned through the alcohol haze. Years in Hollywood had taught me to recognize this particular brand of malice. That bottle almost certainly contained acid. Frozen between intoxication and terror, I instinctively shut my eyes. The searing pain never came. Instead, I found myself crushed against Alex's chest. His choked grunt above me made me look up. Beads of sweat dotted his forehead. His profile contorted with agony as he forced a smile. You're safe now, Jess, he whispered through bloodless lips. I won't let anyone hurt you again. Security swarmed M as paramedics arrived, revealing the horror: Alex's entire back and left side ravaged by chemical burns. He'd shielded me with his own body. Neither of them reappeared in my life after that night. A month later, legal documents arrived from Alex's team. He'd transferred all his assets to me, a twisted congratulatory gift. Rumor claimed his scars were permanent. Time to go, Sophie called, tapping her watch. I scrawled my signature on the divorce papers without hesitation. We were square now. As for me, the next summit awaited. Later, Alex tracked down Jess outside the studio, only to be met with glacial indifference. On the night Jess accepted her Academy Award, she glimpsed M, now a hollow-eyed plaything in some sugar daddy's arms. The failed actress had purchased sulfuric acid after seeing Jess' nomination announcement. When Alex intercepted the attack, M's screams had echoed through the parking garage before security tackled her. Now she rotted in prison, while Jess' star kept rising.